quick succession. And that is a 6-2.
What's up, guys? What? Oh, it's only the two of us. What just happened?
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't. He was
Where's
just
Apathy?
here. I don't know, man.
No,
I don't know.
Guys, right now Kingdom has lost his internet, but he will be joining us shortly, hopefully. And then Apathy's running late because he said he blamed it on his girlfriend. So
yeah,
go ahead and tweet at them and tell them to get here on the STiKS. Make sure you hashtag it and ask us any Twitter questions you have. We already got one, but we'll get into that in a minute. But man, Hitch, Rostermania is upon us.
Dude, we didn't even do our intros yet.
Oh.
So who are you? Who is you?
I'm the beard. Now I am the STiKS beard, Smiting Fatty.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I am. What are you? Or who are you, Mr. Santa Hat?
My name is Hitch. And I'm gonna do it. Can I tell people? Like, can I just go ahead and tell people about the intro thing?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna change up my intro a little bit. It used to be just "What's up, guys?" It's Hitch here, but that's so boring. Nobody likes that anymore. That's so like last year. So my new intro is going to be "What's up, guys? It's Hitch here, aka, or also known as," and then I'm going to say something completely random. So that's going to be so let's try this out. Hold on. What's up, guys? It's Hitch here, aka the purple sunglasses.
The purple sunglasses.
Yeah, so just
that's kind of random.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not the white sunglasses?
Well, racist. Okay, so let's get into Rostermania. Let's talk a little bit about what all has been happening in the scene lately. So I guess we're gonna start off taking questions from the chat. Is that what we're gonna do, or are we taking it from Twitter?
What do you? Well, we can let's do Twitter first. We got one, and it's actually a really good one. It has to do with Rostermania. It comes from No Breadsticks, which he used hashtag the STiKS. Do you see Embos, Ricky, Haggy, and Nameless teaming?
What was the one?
What
was it?
It was, do you see Embos, Ricky, Haggy, and Nameless teaming up? Here, I'll put a link to this tweet. I'll tweet the link the tweet. Goalie's probably freaking out. He's saying, "Send me the tweets."
Yeah, so everybody hashtag the STiKS on Twitter, and that's where we'll be taking questions from the beginning. Kingdom said he was running to the liquor store real quick, and then he would be back.
Racist.
Said he would be back after that. So he's going to be back soon, but we're going to go ahead and do the questions from Twitter right now. So hashtag the STiKS on Twitter, and that's where we're going to take the questions from. Okay, so Imbos, I think that could be a team, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that would really happen.
I don't see Killa leaving Miracles, personally. Do you? Wait, did I say Killa? No, Haggy. My bad. Embos, Ricky, Haggy, and Nameless. Do you think that team would work? I think that's too much OBJ going on. Embos, Ricky. I mean, Haggy was dropping numbers though this last tournament.
That could be one of those weird teams where it just all works out. Like, it's not like powerhouse people, but just somehow the team clicks. You know what I mean? I don't know.
All right, here comes the next question. Hold on. Here, I got the questions, Hitch. You all right. You get the answers.
I'll just stay here and look pretty in my Santa hat.
All right, there you go, goalie. There's the next question. Sorry, we're shuffling everything up. We're just gonna do stuff a little random until we get Mr. the Kingdom Soldier in. But there's your next question. Are you ready for me to read it, goalie? Let's go ahead. It's Hitch. Who is your favorite STiKS fam member? Hashtag the STiKS.
What? Uh,
He's asking you to choose.
choose. Who is this? Oh, is it Rostermania? That's funny. He just said that I was his favorite STiKS personality on his stream. So, big homie MLG Rostermania has got to be my
Let's land
favorite
on.
STiKS fam member. STiKS fam, everybody loves all of the STiKS fam. The Skype chat is always rolling throughout the week, and it's always funny. I always just peep in there and watch goalie rage about everything, or like whatever's going on. So
I think we were talking about this before. Goalie's my favorite because he always goes, "Whatever, fatty. Okay, fatty. Whatever." It makes me laugh every time. You can hear him laughing in the background too. It's awesome. Well, I can. You guys can. I can't. All right. Somebody brought up a good point, and that was my buddy Aaron or Ambition FPS. He said that team that we were talking about earlier, Haggy, Ricky, Bose, and Nameless, took out Complexity. If you remember, it was PAX East. Was it PAX East? One of the PAXs when they were on Unite. But this is a different game. I just don't know if that team would work in this game. I mean, you can see like some of the teams that you thought would be God squads, like Optic Nation, aren't working out as well as we thought they would. So, yeah, that's just that's my 2 cents on that.
yeah.
Oh, let's see. Do you have any in the chat that you want to look at really quick? Or?
Yeah, I'll take questions from the chat while you find tweets. So, question from the chat. Question from the chat. People are saying, somebody just said, it's not a question, but it's just enable Merc and STiKS in V. I don't know. I've heard that from Rumormania. I've heard that enable. What is the team? The God Squad. Enable Merc, Zuma, and Saints. I've heard that team, or I've heard people rumoring that team. And if that team works out, that's gonna be a scary. That's like a champ squad team. But then again, like all of that would mess up so many rosters, and we wouldn't know if that would be an envy team or a denial team.
Well,
That.
yeah, we already had Zuma tweet out today saying that, the team that they have is pretty much set. But if you remember, it wasn't too long ago that he said that. He tweeted that out. And the next day, they dropped replays and attached just to pick them up again.
Yeah.
I don't see Denial making a mistake like that again. I don't know if that was a mistake, but that doesn't mean they're not going to change their roster. I guarantee Robbie is just chilling, waiting for some things to happen. I think they really wanted STiKS. I think they were trying to trade for STiKS, and I'm guessing maybe STiKS didn't want to go, or maybe they're just still talking about it. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really the only roster change they'll make. And I think if they did that, they'd probably drop replays for STiKS, or maybe attach, or not drop, but trade.
Yeah.
That's one thing people forget. They have to trade right now.
Yeah. And I don't think people realize that, that like confirmations and things about roster locks like go out the window when you're dealing with champs. Like nobody cares. Like if you remember this time last year, Ricky left Nation, or Ricky left Optic because he was like, I need a team that's going to win champs. I can't miss out on champs again this year. And then he didn't end up even getting into champs. But like people will do whatever it takes to get into champs because it's the one tournament, it's the biggest prize pool. So I don't really like if people say they're not making a roster change. I'm like, okay, cool. You say that, but we'll see. We'll see if a player like STiKS is available and you have a chance to pick him up, somebody's getting dropped. You know what I mean? Like same with like all the big names. It's a scary day to be a free agent.
Yeah, it really is, and especially if you're underage, you definitely know you're going to get dropped. I think Benson tweeted out earlier that some of these teams are going to be playing for two different squads, or some of these players. They're going to be playing for a league squad that they have to grind with every week, for their league matches, and then they're going to have their champs squad. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't really see, in my mind, that'd just be dumb. Like I think Big Snacks even said that. He's like, if they're not thinking right, is what he said. So and I agree with that. They're not thinking right if they think they're going to be able to do that, because it's like that old biblical saying: you can't serve God and mammon or whatever. You can't have two different teams going on. That's just going two different directions being pulled. Let's go ahead and go to another question from Twitter. This one comes from Carter Harris or Nitro_FX. Hitch, do you see Dito going to a high caliber team for champs? Hashtag the STiKS.
I feel like Dito's going to stay on the caliber that he's been at forever. Dito, he's never been on like a, I don't know. He's always been like a tier 2 team, if that makes sense. I haven't seen anything from Dito this game that has been like extremely like shocking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much, he's got an amazing shot, but shot is kind of your shot in this game. It's kind of weird because of the movement and things like that. So like people have always like that has been his best quality in every single game, and now that skill is kind of like tainted. Like it has like a asterisk beside it because of the movement. It's like I don't know. He's definitely somebody just in this chat said Dito is a ghoster. He's definitely not a ghoster.
No.
Dito's been a top 5 slayer in pretty much every Call of Duty. Like his shot is amazing, but it's just other things that of why he hasn't been able to be on a solid squad yet, like a really solid squad besides like the strictly business team from last year. They were stupid good. But yeah, I think he'll do well. I think he's gonna perform pretty much how he has been performing over the past year.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Dito's a ghoster. I think he's still good. He's still top caliber. He can be. I think he'd fit in on any team, honestly. You could replace any lower top tier player with Dito and still have a winning squad, in my mind. Let's see. I got it here. Do you want to take another question from the chat?
Oh yeah, sure. Agree or disagree? Optic Nation will not make any roster changes. Um, I don't think I don't think that Optic Nation's going to make a roster change. That's just basing off of how because they've been playing pretty well in the league lately, right? Yeah, have you been keeping up with it?
Yeah. Well, I know they did well in the 5K yesterday.
Yeah, like and
So
they played with all four of their players, right? The full squad.
I believe. Well, yeah, I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah. I think yeah, I think that Optic Nation's going to stay because I think all the speculation was if they couldn't play because of Karma and Swanee being from different countries. So I think that's why people thought they were going to make a roster change because that's a dominant squad. Or people think that, and other people thought that Proofy was going to get dropped. But I don't know. I think Proofy's got an element. Proofy's played in champs before. He's played in 2 champs before, if not 3. I don't know if he played in XP. Um, but I mean, that's he's got like the mentality for it. He's been in high pressure situations. He's performed. He's done well. He's a veteran in the scene. So I think Proofy's your best bet as far as things are going right now. Um, I don't know. I think that nation's going to stay together. And plus, somebody said that Hex said that Swanee is still eligible to play or is eligible to play in champs, and so Optic Nation is good. So I think that team's going to stay together.
I agree. I don't really see. I, I mean, there's not really many roster changes I could see that would benefit them. I think Proofy's good, and I've always said like if you're going to take out a player, it'd be Proofy. But at the same time, it's Proofy. He's been a really good player for a long time, and he's one of those guys that you just like having on your team because he's just a good guy. He has that world class smile that everybody loves, and he's a great player. When it comes down to it, I mean, he might be getting a little older, but there's not many players that I would say, hey, yeah, that'd be just like the best change, unless you're going to go after a top tier, like say, like Zuma or an Apathy, and those players, they're not going to be let go from their organization for peanuts. I don't think that would be an across the table swap. There'd have to be cash on it or something. And that's one thing that everybody has to remember is they said on ESR today that when you're trading, it has to be player for player, or it can't be like one player for two players, which I thought was interesting. I wonder why they did that, but it has to be player for player and then money on top of it if it comes down to it.
Yeah.
All right, I got another question right here. Let me link it really quick. Sorry, goalie. I'm trying to hurry. There we go. Oop, I think they linked it. Okay. So the question is, who do you see replacing STiKS on FaZe? After Zuma said on ESR, every team is on hashtag Rostermania. So I guess I didn't see that part where Zuma came on ESR. So, yeah. And then who is leaving ON? We just talked about ON. I don't see anybody leaving there. But who do you think would be a good candidate for FaZe to replace STiKS?
To replace STiKS. That's a hard person to replace.
Yeah, I mean, he's the most winningest in Call of Duty history.
For now.
For now. Well, I think for a little while. We'll see. I mean, unless Crimsix wins a bunch, which he could with
He
Optic.
very well could. I don't know, man. Who is available? Who's available that?
Well, it's Rostermania, Hitch. Everybody's
So
available.
Then I would have to say the only replacements are basically anybody from the old EG squad, except for Karma. Actually, not even TP either. So just, I guess, Krim, but that's not happening. It's got to be somebody vocal enough to replace, because STiKS is a solid player and always has been a really good player, but he's STiKS and he's that good because of how knowledgeable he is at every game. He grinds it out and basically nerds it out and finds out everything about the game. But there's not a lot of people that can do that. Like Parasite does it. I think Ricky does it to an extent. Everybody does it to an extent, but like not the way that STiKS does, if that makes sense. I don't know. Who do you think?
I think you look at a player like Enable or a player like Mochilla from Justice. I think either of them would be a good fit. And that comes to you. Ambition got me thinking about that. I think Azuma could do well over there. I mean, if we're talking anybody, man, there's a lot of players that I think could fit STiKS's role. Neslo, I think if you send Neslo back over there, if STiKS isn't there, that's a good team. I think they did a really bad job. Let me time this dude out. Holy crap. Oh, shoot. Thank you for doing that. Mods. I couldn't do it. Thank you, mods. You guys are the awesomeness.
The goaty goat.
All right. Shoot. Did I not just link that? Let's see. Link to this tweet. I got another tweet. Here we go. And I just got a message from Kingdom saying he'll be ready in 5 minutes. So after we go, we'll answer a couple more questions. We'll go to a quick commercial break. We'll bring back Kingdom Soldier. And then by the time our next commercial break comes around, we should have Apathy on. So this next question brought to you by, let's see. I got to find the question. Gosh darn it. Goalie, it's your fault. Now I can't find it. Hitch, dang it. Okay, no, just kidding. Okay, from Noble HD or Noble _ HD or Matt, hashtag the STiKS. What is Envy's plan?
To win?
I think it's to dominate the world. But
take over the world.
They want to win. But who do they keep? Like out of the four, I mean, we've heard rumors that they're just breaking it up. You know, they're just gonna start over. But to keep their spot, they got to keep two players, right?
They have to keep two.
Who would you keep? Who would you let go?
Um, I don't know. Because like I said, I've heard rumors of that God Squad with Merc and Abel and um Zuma and Saints, but if that team happens, which I'm not even sure it will or would even ever happen, but if that team does happen, then that means Merc has left Envy, and which I didn't think would ever happen. I
Did
thought
you ever think
like
he was going to leave Optic?
he didn't leave Optic. He got dropped.
That's true. True.
But he would have to like because Merck has been like Hastro's guy, like go-to guy, like as far as being, the person that has been on Envy for a while and kind of the backbone, not skill wise, but as far as like the branding is, like Merck is basically who you think of when you think of Envy as of now, as of late. Um, and that would be weird to see him on a different squad, but it is champs. Anything can happen when a millie is on the line. So and then Clayster's getting dropped. So I guess, but Nameless has said he's getting dropped too. So I don't know, man. I
I
don't
think
know.
everybody's saying they're getting dropped. The question that's popped up a ton already is where do you think Glacier going to go?
God, dude.
I know it's crazy, right? That's one person I could see maybe possibly going to Nation. I don't know they would
For
drop for.
who?
I mean, I'm guessing possibly Proofy. I keep saying his name. I don't like saying that because he's a great player. But possibly, and maybe if the whole situation with the visa doesn't come through, he plays for champs for them, which I think that could turn into a great squad right there.
Yeah,
But
I think the Green Wall, the members of Optic might not be very happy about Clay coming back, but the Green Wall would love it because they loved Clay. You know what I mean?
yeah, they really did. They really did.
Or Clay on Envy just kind of looks weird to me. Like, I mean, it has ever since he's been on Envy, but I'd like to see Clay on like TK maybe. But I think TK is probably staying together, don't you think?
Yeah, I've heard TK staying together. That was a question we had earlier too. Was what do you think about TK staying together? Is that the right thing? I think it is. I think it's a great squad. One thing that's really shocked me is Sharp's play. I think his play has been amazing lately, and yeah, I mean he's been slaying like crazy. Something I never thought would come from him.
Thank you so much to Not George Bush for subscribing. So glad that you subscribed and that you're not George Bush. I'm not glad that you're not George Bush. I'm just saying, I don't know. Keemstar said Looney to Envy. I don't know if that's a very reliable source as far as Rostermania is concerned as of now. But if Looney does go to Envy, then that would leave a spot open for TK. But I don't see that happening.
I don't know. Looney wants to win. I mean, everybody wants a piece of that. They want 100 grand in the bank account because
Yeah, but we just said
that's crazy.
We just said that like Envy, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know their plan.
Yeah, we don't know.
And I think the squad
Envy.
that they have right now is great. So
Yeah, me too.
But that doesn't mean that they can't lure somebody away. I mean, because one thing about Envy, don't they pay their players?
Yes.
I mean, they get an automatic contract. They have the house as well. Envy's one of those teams that maybe besides Optic, everybody grows up. Well, not grows up, but for the last 3 years has wanted to play for the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a dream come true for some people. And we saw Goon actually left TK to do that for a little bit. He ended up coming back. But, yeah. Oh, this is a good question right here. Hold on. I'm going to link this one. Is Kingdom ready, Matt? Okay. Here's this guy. Then I have to open it up myself. All right, are you ready? Okay, hashtag the STiKS. Is it too far-fetched to say that Formal will get dropped from OG and be replaced by Clayster? Yes, it is far-fetched.
That's
Yes.
the most far-fetched thing I've heard all day.
Formal could be the best player in the game right now. As it is. Could be. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's not. He's going to get mentioned. And anybody who drops him would just be bonkers. Like, you just don't drop the formal.
3 players on that team could be in that running, you know?
Yeah. Which player's the not that third player? Huh? Hitch?
My webcam's freezing.
I'm pretty sure it's good. He's trying to hold as still as he can. All right. Let's go. Let's get a couple more from the chat. Make sure you guys are tweeting out too. Tweet out the stream for us. We like to get some peoples in here to spread the word about awesomeness. Get a question from the chat.
Me.
Okay. You.
Someone said Fatty greater than Hitch. I agree.
I doubt it. No.
I agree.
By the way, okay, I just gotta give you props. That video that you made for the YouTubes was it on Optic Intel? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
You should go ahead and like post that in the chat because, oh man, it's just amazing.
Thank you so much, man.
No problem.
It's awesome.
It's what I wish I could do, and then you do it, and it's like, oh, it's like that extra bit of butter on the popcorn. Just amazing.
Yeah. Caramel, maybe?
Yeah, the caramel.
Caramel corn.
Oh, man. You want to see my hair? Dude, my hair is like nuts right now. Look at this. Look at this mane I got going on. I'm actually going to do a charity stream, hopefully in the next few weeks, because I'm sick of my hair, sick of my... I don't want to say I'm sick of my beard, but, man, it takes a lot of maintenance. I got to, like, pick all the gerbils and squirrels that crawl in it while I'm sleeping, and got to get them out. But, oh, there's a good one from Colecast. Do you think the Orlando win is going to affect Optic's motivation, or do you think they will grind even harder for champs?
Who was this again?
That was from the chat. Colecast.
What was the question? I wasn't.
Do you think, because Optic won and kind of got the monkey off their back, do you think they're going to kind of calm down and not grind as hard for champs, or do you think they're going to have that drive and motivation still?
No, because I think Scump and Nade, like the fear of regionals is probably still ringing in their mind from last year, because that was terrifying. You know, if you were an Optic fan watching regionals, because they almost didn't even make it into champs. And so like it's harder for the North American teams because it's not just a qualifier to get in champs. You qualify for a qualifier in order to get into champs, and that regional tournament means almost more than champs does in some sense, because like the competition is harder. And so I think they're going to grind, because they definitely this is the only time, like if you're going to grind once a year, it's this time of year when like upcoming to champs. So I don't think they're going to feel content whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you're going to win $100,000, like each player, that's when you do it. I mean, that's when you grind. That's when your motivation is at your highest. Speaking of motivation, we're going to have Kingdom on right after this commercial break, so we'll see you on the other side. Did you like that motivation?
Hello!
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of hurt my eardrum.
STiKS. So happy that these guys let me on. I was like watching and wondering if I was going to be able to talk to you guys. I just missed you. So I need everybody to watch Twitter. Because I have a big announcement, and I'm going to make it via Twitter. Somebody subscribe to the channel?
Awesome. We already said not George Bush.
Thank you, not George Bush, for subscribing. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah, he just tweeted at me. So I'm going to tweet something, and it'll tell you what the announcement is. 1 second. What is this announcement? You guys don't even know. You know what it is, but you don't know that I'm able to announce it right now.
Oh. Goalie knows everything though.
All right. So
Goalie's like,
everybody
I know what it
watch
is.
Twitter. And then we'll get right back to Rostermania because I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about. And I was listening to these guys and I wanted to chime in on their opinions. So I'm going to tweet in 3, 2, 1. Tweeting. Retweet away. I just tweeted 5 seconds ago. 1 retweet, 2 favorites.
I don't see it.
Are you serious?
Is it just the name?
Just the @ yeah.
Oh.
Dude, nobody's gonna be able to see it. You should have put a dot in front of it.
Everybody just go to my Twitter. It's got
Fail.
911.
Fail.
People are seeing.
Fail.
Oh my god.
Only for the people on the show that are true fans can see it.
Kingdom, you
Let's
are
go.
a detriment.
Lego my ego.
Okay, wait. How am I a detriment? I have 31 retweets and 30 favorites. People are looking. All right. So the STiKS has been officially sponsored by SCUF Gaming. Optic Golf Clap. Optic Golf Clap. This is a huge thing for me, and I'm not going to go too much into it because I actually made a video about it when I found out that it was true. You guys know that I've been wearing this SCUF hat because they gave it to me for free. I have a free SCUF that I play with that's inside of this little case. And they sent me a whole bunch of stuff and said they were going to watch my content, and they've been watching our show. They liked it, sent me a DM, said we want to sponsor you. We will be getting a discount code for you guys that'll give you 5% off. I don't know if we're going to have like a STiKS SCUF or anything like that. It'd be pretty sick to get a STiKS Live SCUF. You guys have been tweeting at me SCUF or STiKS logos on your players in AW, which has been pretty tight. And so, hold up. Oh, it looks like Apathy just got online, so we'll have him on in a moment. So I wanted to share that with you guys because it's a huge accomplishment for us. I mean, well, these guys are all in the same boat. We're all non-pro players. We don't play professionally. We're a team, but we're a team of guys who talk about competitive Call of Duty. We don't play competitive Call of Duty. We don't play for prize money. We just talk about the guys that do. But SCUF Gaming, one of the 2 largest brands, I would say, in competitive gaming, saw something in our show. Now, next is Astro. I don't know if that'll ever happen because I don't wear them, but, you know, mine are broken. But that's the next step. But, you know, we got SCUF, and it's really exciting. We're going to move forward. I'll tell you guys once the code comes out and all that kind of stuff. But you'll see a video of me being like this. Literally, that's going to be the whole video. So, nevertheless, make sure you guys tweet it out. SCUF, STiKS, SCUF. I don't know, but you guys tweet out something. So, what did you guys already talk about? Denial?
Yeah, they're staying together.
A lot.
Well, that they're staying together.
Yeah, and how they tweeted this last time, or Zuma tweeted this last time, and then the next day they dropped attach and replays.
Well, we'll ask App when he comes on because he specifically said denial is the key to everything in his video. He said if denial breaks up, then basically all the other roster changes are gonna happen. And he was thinking that the roster of, did you guys hear about his thoughts that the roster of denial was gonna end up being Merc, Enable, Zuma, and Saints?
Yeah.
Isn't that the team that played the 5K together?
Yeah, and they weren't as successful as they wanted to be, but he thinks that either what?
Oh, look at Fear's last tweet.
Tweet Mania. What did he tweet?
All right, he says myself at Prof Legal, at FaZe Apathy, and at Merc Envy will be competing at Champs together. Good luck to everyone. So my question, I don't know if that's real, but my question is, so is this one of those instances where Merc is going to still be playing for Envy in the league, or
yeah?
And
that's
then
what Apathy was saying is that he thought
that's crazy.
He thought Envy was going to keep their league squad, but then their players were going to play on different teams for champs.
Is that allowed?
Yes.
I don't know why it wouldn't.
Why wouldn't it be? But
I
don't know.
Why would Aches play with Legal, Merc, and Fears?
Well,
he thinks that's his best
that
chance.
Destroys.
Okay, Merc just tweeted it's not true, but we'll wait and see.
Right.
Well, we obviously have to wait for press release.
Let me unretweet that then.
Obviously, you got to wait for a press release from an official org for roster changes to be.
Why would he tweet that?
He's all, what? He's probably messing around.
I think Fears is just like,
That's not even cool.
he knew we were streaming.
Well, the funny thing
he's
is
all, I'll
that
get those guys.
the funny thing is Kingdom finally showed up.
Hey, Apathy just tweeted at you.
I know, he's ready. I saw him get online. So we'll get him on in a minute, but so Apathy said in his video, I guess we should just get him on. But before we do a commercial, did you guys get to show the Champs trailer?
Yes, that was the first thing we did.
And what was you guys' opinion on the fact that Champs is causing all of this? Rostermania. Do you think it's worth it for all these teams to be moving around?
Yeah. Champs is the most hyped thing of the year. Champs is what we all look forward to. So this is just all comes with it.
And it's not just hype. It's a game. It's a life-changing event.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you try to change things? Or why wouldn't you do your best to win? That being said, I think sometimes the best thing to win is to stay together. And I think that's what TK's strategy is. I think that's what. I mean, gaming strategy is just like that because they got the God Squad. But I think if Denial doesn't change around, that's because they think their best chance is sticking together.
I don't understand what. I mean, I would get picking up STiKS for replays, I guess, because of his experience.
Not for
but when you
attacks, though.
hear repeatedly about how detrimental he is to the teams he's on, especially the last two, like the late EG and the current FaZe, and what Apathy said in this video, which we'll ask him about when he comes on, is that STiKS. Well, he basically said that STiKS doesn't practice, is an hour late to all their matches, was late to all their matches on LAN. It's like he doesn't care. Like he's just kind of like, this isn't important, so I'm not going to put that much into league matches or something like that. Now, I'm sure he would grind for Champs because he wants to win, but it's like STiKS is so confident in his game, he doesn't put a lot into it, and it messes up the team chemistry. And, you know, the first thing Slasher tweeted after they got knocked out at Orlando is he said, I guess practice does matter, you know. So I think there's some unrest there on that team, but I'm interested to see, like, where the heck is Parasite going to land? Where is Money B going to land? If Clayster really is off Envy and they're just going to play together for the league, like, I don't understand why he's being so undervalued in AW. People are missing the point that sometimes it's the roster, not the player. You know, Money B left that Optic Nation roster and has done well for himself ever since. So, yeah. I mean, you can't. It's like saying that. It's kind of like Dwight Howard in the NBA. You know, it's like he sucks. Like, no, he doesn't suck, but he hasn't found a team that works for him to where they could win a championship together. And it's just they haven't found a roster that works. And I think the same thing for some of these players that are being shuffled around. And I can't believe the thought of Merc not playing for Envy and Champs.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Like, can you imagine Merc finishing top 3 again, but not representing blue or green? Which are the two teams he's played for? Being on orange or something? In the champ. Oh, that would be crazy. Yeah. I can't. Can you imagine Denial _ Merc? Like, that doesn't even. Or FaZe _ Merc. Or... That sounds like a sin. That sounds like something he'd need to repent of. FaZe _ Merc. Hey, wait, which little guy is that? Who's in the background? Oh, that's Jacob. What up, Jacob? He can't hear you. Tell him hi for me. Goodness gracious. Fatty says hi. All right, I'll be back there in a second. James said hi, Fatty. All right, so we're going to take a quick break because I know you guys want to see App. We're going to get Apathy on. I know we just took a commercial break, but we'll get Apathy on the show, give Goalie a conniption because of how many times he's changed these overlays. But Goalie is the best in the business, so he's ready.
He's all right.
He's ready for it. Dang. Wow. Just all right.
I taught my little cousin how to do it. She's pretty good too.
Hey, that's a good point, Mustang. Merc Envy did sound like a sin at first, like him off of Optic. That's true. That's true. Yeah, all right, so we'll be back on the other side of 30 or 60, whatever it takes to get him in here. We'll be right back, dudes. Peace. Scuff. We're kind of live. We're kind of live. We're not really live yet, but we are a little bit.
This is the STiKS Live.
A little bit.
This is the STiKS Live.
The STiKS Live. I should cast like that. Like, what's up, guys? No, just kidding.
So, how are you guys doing today?
Short, fat, and happy. How are you, Brian?
And I'm doing great myself. Just stressed out with all this stuff, but
Sorry,
no.
bro. So, Apathy.
Kingdom cut you off, man. He did not care about what you had to
He said
say.
he was doing.
He
Oh,
brought you on
Gentlemen.
for the views, man.
He said he was doing wonderful
No,
yeah, I'm doing
he
great.
didn't. He said he was stressed, man.
because of the roster
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
roster mabia. That's what they should call it. Roster mabia. Because
I
all
like
these,
that word.
like I called it rumor mania because it's like there's so many proposed trades, and you talked about it in your video. Like there's so many things that could happen. So you said in your video that we just saw the fake tweet by Fears, but you did say in your
Right.
video that you think Envy will keep their squad for the league, but use a different squad for champs.
It's possible, just because due to the fact that if they were to leave the league team and just cause a bunch of nonsense, I think MOG could permanently ban them from the league. So therefore, they're just going to keep their team and then just make a champs team to separate side.
Wait, they would be permanently banished?
Because I feel like it's wrong if a pro player, they're in the league, they agree to it, and it's basically a set thing, and then they were to leave randomly, and it's just wrong and like in a way disrespectful. So I think MOG would do something about it. They just wouldn't let them get away with it. So therefore, I think
okay, go ahead.
yeah. So therefore, I think NV will keep their squad as just for the league, but then have a separate team for champs because it's a huge tournament.
Well, why couldn't they just keep 2 players for this season? I mean, there's not much time left, really,
Yeah,
right?
it's a possibility.
When does the season end?
It's halfway through.
Yeah, I believe it's February 6th is when's the last match.
It's the day the last regular season match is the day before qualifiers for champs.
Yeah.
That's
for the
crazy.
first qualifier. And then the playoffs aren't until the end of February.
Exactly.
It's really weird. Like I think the problem, it's Activision mixed with MLG, is that they're not necessarily calendaring together. MLG is going to do what they've kind of always done historically, and Activision is going to do what they've always done historically with champs, which is like, March and April kind of blend, late March to early April.
Yeah.
And so the qualifiers are beginning of February, but it's really sucky for, like Spacely and those guys that are too young.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He really got screwed. I mean,
He got
the
screwed
day
bad.
before, like, why couldn't they just change it? I wonder what the ruling is that made it so that they couldn't change
Last
that.
year was like 17 years and older. What a consent form. And they
With the
changed it
consent
this year.
form?
Yeah, that's how Scumpy was allowed to play.
Oh, of course.
I think that was
2
2
years
years
ago.
ago. 2 years ago, yeah.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, you're getting old.
You're getting old.
Starting to forget.
Gotta
But
catch
if
a
you think about
breath.
that, like, hey,
Just wait till your Kingdom's age, then you don't remember anything. That's why he was really his internet wasn't out. He just forgot. He was sleeping. He ate his applesauce and then took a nap.
somebody tweeted at me and asked if Apathy was late because he was doing his hair.
That's what my next question was. It said
No.
it's from bearded_royal. True or false? App was late because he was doing his hair. So true or false?
False.
Oh,
He wasn't even at home.
Yeah, it
He
wasn't
doing
home.
his hair while driving or something.
He just got back from the
Sorry.
salon.
gotta get the makeup done.
Let me. I've watched your video, App, but let me ask you a question. You
Yeah.
said you think ON will stick, but in your opinion, do they need a roster change to be more successful?
No, I think they have a solid roster right now. All it really takes is just practicing and just getting, prepared for champs. But overall, they have a good team right now.
Well,
A team that can finish top 3?
Yeah, as long as they practice and continue to improve, because they've been improving, they've become better. So, as long as they do the same thing, I think they can place top 3.
why do you think they're not doing so well in the league? Is it a chemistry thing or a connection thing?
Well, connection always plays a part, but I feel maybe it's more of a chemistry thing. Swanee did just join the team, and on top of that, TB has never teamed with any of these players except for Karma. And it's just like it's a type of team where it requires a lot of practice and just getting on the same page. But overall, I think they all are really skilled individually.
Yeah, I agree with you on the individual skill thing. I just think that if AW has taught us anything more than any other game, there has to be the right combination of players. And I mean, you
Yeah.
tell me because you're a pro. Have you guys figured out what the heck that combination is? Like, what is it about? What is it that makes Optic Gaming work? Is it just that they have all these slayers and that because I don't think it's just that. I think what people are underestimating is that if you threw a Karma in instead of Nade or a TP in instead of Nade, it might not actually work. I think what Nade may allow them to get the kills that they need, and they may allow him to do the sitting on the hard point that he needs. You know, it may be the
Yeah.
right combination of players, except for Detroit S&D, they're kryptonite. But
Of course.
I wonder if you guys like figured out because in Black Ops 2, at certain point, everybody figured it out. Like you got to have a good anchor. You know, you got to have a roaming slayer if you're going to be one of the top teams. You know, you got to have that
Yeah.
Karma or that. You know, you got to have a roaming slayer. And so have you guys figured out as pro players like what is the ingredient to making a good team on Advanced Warfare?
I mean, kind of like the way you could look at it, Sensor is our Nate shot or TP, and then you have Slasher who's basically our Slayer. Like, I mean, I could be a Slayer sometimes, but I also like to play that OBJ role,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like a Scumpy, and then Crimsix like their Slayer. So that's like our Slasher, and then Aches is like I guess you can say our Formal, where he just does what needs to be done and just does. He's an all around player. So like that
Yeah.
combination is kind of what you need, like a Slayer, kind of like OBJ player who baits for you and is not scared to die and like this does the OBJ work, and then like a player who's in the middle, for example, me and OBJ/Slayer, then kind of like a Slayer, and then like an all-around player. It's kind of like, I guess you would say the combination that would really like makes a team.
So there's not a necessary an anchor is not necessary in Advanced Warfare, but a good
No,
solid OBJ is more necessary than an anchor.
anchoring is not anyone can anchor in this game. Like for example, all it takes is just pushing out the right, spawns and stuff. So, I mean, I could anchor, Sensor could anchor. It's all about timing and who's rotating early and who's doing it at the time. So I would say, yeah, an OBJ player who contributes more to the team is more important in this game rather than Black Ops 2.
Okay, so then with that in mind, um, maybe explain in your opinion how this like potential denial with you said in your video enable Aches, Zuma, and Saints.
Yeah.
How does that team work? Like in your opinion, how is that a good decision? I guess for those players to drop the replays and because replay seems like a good OBJ. Like how does that team work? Like if they're gonna
Well, in my opinion, I don't think it was a good decision to begin with. I guess they just weren't happy, in the moment type of thing. So that's why they're trying to figure out, how they can improve as a team rather than just sticking with the players and, practicing and improving. But I would say Enable is kind of like, I don't watch Enable much, so I can't really talk about him much, but I know he's kind of like an all around player. He's a good player. And then they were trying to pick up Merc in replace of replays, which is kind of like that OBJ player, like your Sensor, Nate Shaw, replays. I think I'm assuming they thought like he would be a better fit rather than replays, so they wanted to replace him for him. But I think replays is, he's a great player as well. They've won an event, right, in Ghost. And I think replays in general is a good player, and he's a great leader. I guess you can say, he calls a lot of shots. He calls the shots, and he helps their team do the right plays and stuff like that.
Yeah, and this is where champs kind of gets in the way of stuff. You know, there's a couple things that are interesting to me, and I know Robbie's probably watching, and maybe he'll DM me and tell me what's up. But
Yeah.
there was one of the things when he came on the show before, he talked about how loyal Replays was to that brand, to Denial. So I'm shocked that they're considering dropping him. And then the other thing is the things that you have said about Aches, the things that Krim has said now that he's away from Aches, and then the things that Aches himself has said, you know, that he's been open and honest about, like not practicing and
Yeah,
things like that. I wonder the risk. I mean, yes, he's the winningest player, so I
of
mean,
course.
maybe it's worth it, you know, because you guys took the risk. I mean, and now it's seeming like it might not be working out, but it seems like a great risk. But I mean, was it? I mean, I guess was it worth it for you guys to win the championship you won?
It was picking him up. We knew it was going to be a risk. We knew from the start, everything
Yeah.
Chris said, all that stuff, it was going to be a huge risk. But we were
Yeah.
like, he's won a lot, and I know we can win with him, especially the first event. So we decided to do it. It was kind of worth it, but basically Orlando was like the after effect, and
Yeah, it was like the buzzkill.
yeah, and then that's kind of like what's
What you guys
we're
are dealing with now.
yeah, we're gonna figure things out. We're still like just thinking about things, seeing what we're gonna do, talking to them.
So, Fatty or Hitch, I know one of you guys has a question from Twitter, but I have one last question for App. What is it about you that makes you like those magicians that go on TV and like put a mask over their face and tell all the tricks? It's like you seem to be very open whenever Rostermania comes around with what you've heard, with what's going on in the scene. I know you probably know a little bit more for sure, but you share
Yeah.
more than most pros. What is it that drives you to do that, like to be that open with the community about what's going on behind the scenes?
Well, for one, it's kind of already out in the air, I guess you could say. I mean, there's tweets about it that you see people playing with other people in the 5K and stuff like that. So, I mean, maybe it's kind of, too honest, me putting it all out there, but I'm a really honest person. I'm really, straightforward, and I'll tell you everything. Obviously didn't tell 100% of the things. I told about 99%. Some things shouldn't be said. But for the most part, I don't know. I'm just a really honest person, and I feel like the community should know most of the things that's happening right now with the teams and rosters and stuff like that because they are a part of the community.
I agree. All right, Fatty or Hitch, you guys got a question?
Well, we answered it. It was the hair thing. He was doing his hair. But no, I have a question. I mean, you guys played really well yesterday with Attach,
Yes.
and now we're hearing that Denial's not changing their roster. Well, I got questions. I mean, like,
Go ahead.
okay, so are you sad? I mean,
No. Obviously, we had thoughts maybe of making a roster change with him, but nothing was for certain, and I felt like after winning the 5K that this was most likely was going to happen just because he played really well, and we just won the 5K, and I guess, and I'm assuming the players and probably he was watching the whole thing, so they saw him playing well, and I guess they wanted to keep him in the end.
do you think they were just scared? Were they scared?
I don't know. I guess like especially after Zuma Saints playing with Merkin and Abel and them losing. I guess they didn't see like they wanted what they wanted, so therefore they're like, all right, we should just go back to the team we had. I think it'll work better.
Again. So why can't you
Yeah.
just grab Attach?
I mean,
Just
Denial would
swipe
have to.
You have to trade.
Yeah, Denial would have to agree, and obviously they want to keep him now. So either way, we're still in talks with X, trying to figure things out.
Well, and like if you remember last time around, they dropped attach and I about said
Yeah.
attach and replays the day after Zuma like tweeted basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Is this going to be one of those cases, or are we going to come back and say, "Whoa, it really did happen"? Or is that why you're smiling so big? Intel.
I just find the whole situation funny, but I think they're for sure gonna keep the same roster. I don't think they're gonna make any change.
Oh, jeez, really?
Now?
Yeah.
So after all of this hype for Rostermania,
That's why
Well, I
it's
think
rumored.
I still think some rosters are gonna be made, but I mean it's not for certain. Obviously, I don't know what's going on their minds, but I think definitely the Denial should keep their roster. Maybe they might replace one player, if anything, but I don't know what's gonna happen for now.
so
Why
one
is-
thing.
Go ahead,
Go.
Hitch.
All right. So one thing that we've heard that basically everyone is like, for some reason, like 90% sure is going to happen is that Clayster is going to get dropped from Envy. Have you heard?
That was my question.
That was your question? Have you heard anything about that situation? And can you speak on it at all?
I guess. I mean, I've heard I've heard a lot about it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure Nameless is also, like I said in my video, is gonna be dropped. So what I'm not sure about is JCap, and I guess Merc. I'm not too sure about him. He might just stay on Envy and maybe form a squad with all these free agents. But all of that, is pretty sure Nameless and Clayster's already dropped, and I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I said, they're probably gonna stick together for the league and then just find another champs team, if not be traded.
So what happened with Envy? I mean, like I didn't see this. I knew they needed to make a change, but I
Yeah.
didn't see them kind of exploding the roster and saying, screw everything. Like what happened?
Well, I mean, it's I guess a LAN. They haven't been playing too well. I guess they saw a lot of each other, like I guess choking or not playing well, not performing how they wanted the team to perform. So I guess that's a huge reason. On top of that, the league, and I feel like it's just a lot of stuff like that. So right now, since this is the opportunity, your champs is coming up. This is the biggest event of the year. You want a team going in there knowing that you can place at least top 3, or you could win it with.
All right, I got a question from Twitter, if that's cool.
Yeah.
It's coming from what?
Dang. Sorry, my mic was muted. I've been talking. Before you do your questions from Twitter, I'm like blah blah blah. It's like, dang, you guys are mean, just talking over me.
It's like, dang that fatty, so rude.
After he's like, this is my show. So anyway, what I was gonna say is that because when you guys were talking about Envy, like Envy is Envy has I hate to say it. They're like the ON roster, like at the beginning of this game. It's just not working.
Yeah.
Like it's not clicking. And if you ask Apathy, is STiKS a great player? Yes. Is he the player for FaZe? Maybe not. And I think Envy doesn't have a roster full of bad players. They have a roster full of great players. Are they the roster for Envy to like place in top 3 at champs, for Merc to continue his streak? Probably not. And so it's not that the roster is bad. It's just that it doesn't work for Advanced Warfare. And
Exactly.
I feel like Clayster's undervalued in this game. Some people were tweeting at me and saying, well, just because Clayster's good at other Call of Duties doesn't mean he's good at Advanced Warfare. But I feel like he's one of those players that's too good not to figure it out. Like, I don't know. You guys may have another opinion, but I just feel like Clay is he's a good Call of Duty player, and he's going to be good across the span of Call of Duty. So somebody should take a risk on it. If I see Clayster end up like on this pickup squad with Bose that people are talking about, maybe they will do good at champs. I don't know, but I just feel like Clay's been on Optic, he's been on Envy, he's been on Cole, he's been on TK for 5 minutes and finished second. He's a top player. He's got more championships than 90% of the players that are on the STiKS right now. So I don't know why. Maybe Apathy you can tell me, but I don't know why top teams aren't taking a risk on him, or what it is that is making teams not like look at Clayster as a viable option.
I mean, I haven't watched too much, but I have watched him play, and from what I've seen, he is a great player. Maybe it's just due to, usually when you want to pick up a player, you see his recent success, meaning, let's say in this game, the past 2 events, if he plays top 3 both events, and you hear every pro talking about him, say, oh my God, he's so good, then that kind of wants you to pick him up. But if you don't really hear much about him, you see him place in top 6, top 8, then that kind of like pushes you away from even thinking about picking him up. And I think that's a huge reason why not many pros want to pick him up right now.
Are you guys looking to pick him up?
Yeah.
Dang. Fatty.
Wow. Hey, I had to ask it. I drilled him.
Not finishing, in the top 3.
I could see him being a good fit for your show.
No, I can too, but right now we have, our thoughts on mainly 2 players, and we're, like I said, nothing's for certain yet for our team. We're still, going to talk through it and then see what's going to happen from there.
That's the hard question.
All right, Fatty, go ahead with your question from Twitter.
All right, this is from Aaron or Ambition FPS. Apathy, this to you. Do you think the Cole Dethroner Unite squad, remember from back in the day, would work? Do you think that who was that? Nameless, Bose, Killa, and
Ricky, right?
Ricky. Wait.
Oh, it was Parasite and FaZe Killa.
Oh yeah, and then they dropped. Who did they drop right away? Like Money B.
Bose. Yeah, it was Bose. Yeah.
Yeah,
right
it was.
Got home.
I think it was,
So no Killa.
No Killa.
Yeah. What do you think of that squad?
Do I think they would be good?
In this game, yes.
This game. So you got Bose, Ricky, Parasite, Nameless. Not really. I
That's
just
what I
don't.
said. Yes.
I just don't feel like they would have the, like the slaying power. In hard points, It's a lot about slaying and getting huge kills, and I feel like that team wouldn't be able to do that. I don't feel like they have the players. Maybe Nameless and Parasite sometimes, but I feel like Bose and Ricky, wouldn't slay too much. So for the most part, I don't think that team would work out too well. I mean, they could probably maybe do something, but I don't think they would get too far.
I agreed. I said too much OBJ.
Yeah,
Aaron didn't agree with me. That's why he wanted to ask you.
exactly.
Take that, Aaron.
Have we talked about Optic Nation with you at all yet?
Just at the start a little bit.
He doesn't pay
Oh.
attention. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't. So, what do you think?
Oh, we're
What do you think? Okay, yeah, I do remember you saying that it just takes time. So, what do you think of everybody speculating if they were to drop anyone, it would be Proofy. So, what do you think of Proofy as a player, and I guess throughout the years of competitive COD?
Well, I think he's a great player. I mean, overall, he's been, throughout all the CODs, he's been placing pretty well. I just feel like in this game, he's a good player, but he lacks, I guess, some. I don't know how to explain it. Like the way people say it is he's the weakest player on their team right now, I guess you can say. And I heard a lot about people, saying they should drop Proofy. I have people tweeting me, join ON and replace the Proofy. I have people just talking about Proofy, and I guess like when I look at the team, he is probably the weakest player right now, and he plays a lot. It's not like he doesn't practice, or maybe he wasn't playing enough before, but he definitely does play a lot compared to a lot of players, and I feel like he just, I guess, hasn't catch on to certain things yet. This game is a whole different game. There's so many things in this game, like the movement, the abilities, like everything. And I just feel like for some players, some players catch on fast, and then some players take time throughout the game to like learn everything, like all the, tricks and stuff.
Low key apathy.
Low
You, Karma, Swanee, and Teep. Ruthless. I mean,
Can we get an amen?
that would be ridiculous. I'm just saying, like, think about that roster. Anyway,
Yeah, no, I've thought about it.
Have you been offered it? Have you been offered it? That's the question.
Well, too much info.
I'm sorry. I'm on point
kidding.
today. No, I have a question though. Speaking of Swanee coming over from the UK, has
Yeah.
FaZe thought about picking anybody up from the UK?
No.
That's
FaZe Cat.
Yeah, well, that's what I just
actually,
thought of that.
there
Or
was-
Tommy or
In Ghost, there was a point. It wasn't with actually no, it wasn't FaZe. It was with SB, but I think there was a point where we were trying to play with Mad Cat. Yeah.
Yeah, that like I think it was Robbie that came on the show and said Optic is the only organization that can afford what comes with taking a player from the EU. We're gonna run a quick commercial break, guys, and we haven't talked about it yet, but we've sold like twice as many and then some of our shirts and hoodies for the STiKS, and so somebody is going to put the link in the description. I think we were supposed to sell 10 and we're like at 25 or something like that. So
goalie's on point.
Yeah,
thank you. Goalie's the man. Thank you guys for the support. We really, really, really appreciate it. I think it ends next Monday, like right after the show ends. And so get your shirts and your hoodies now. We'll probably do another campaign in a month or two, and we'll add some different colors and all that kind of stuff and hook you guys up. But we will be right back on the other side of 30 seconds. So we'll see you guys in a moment. Peace.
Oh.
We are live. Welcome back to the STiKS, guys. Thank you, FaZe Apathy, for coming on. You guys tweet out the stream and let everybody know the app is on here, that we're having fun,
I'll
and
tweet it
that we're giving away nothing, but they can buy stuff. And that we're sponsored by Scuff. That is the dopest thing ever. Did you hear that, Apathy? You weren't on the show.
No, I wasn't.
The STiKS Live actually acquired a Scuff Gaming sponsorship. We're gonna have a discount code. They're gonna use their social media to support us. We're gonna be able to do Scuff giveaways on
That's
future
awesome.
episodes of the STiKS.
Kingdom's actually going to be the new CEO of Scuff. That's
Hey,
like
whoa, that's a
great.
secret.
What?
Sorry.
Shh.
Jeez.
Poor Duncan.
I know you work for Optic Intel, but you're not allowed to give out the intel. Jeez. Gosh.
All the
It's just
intel.
spilling all the beans. So that's pretty exciting. So here's my question
Yeah.
for all of you guys. What is the best potential NV roster? If they really, like, let's just say they keep Merc and they get rid of their other three guys. What do you think is the best potential NV roster of the people that are out there kind of floating around?
Just for champs or for everything?
Yeah, let's just say for champs, because it sounds like Apathy said they'll keep their, and I think they're going to do that, keep their roster for the league. But what's their best champs roster that they could potentially actually put together? And I'll start with you, Fatty.
Out of anybody or out of free agents?
You can say anybody-ish. There's people that you know, like in my mind, I think Censor's not leaving FaZe. I don't know about Slasher. I mean, it sounds like he may want to go somewhere, but if STiKS goes somewhere, then he'll stay. I mean, I don't know. But
What about
out of
that
players,
Apathy guy? Can I use him?
I don't. You sure?
Okay.
Put him on. Yeah.
Oh, I'm teasing. I'm sorry. Okay, if I'm gonna pick anybody with Merc, oh my gosh, that's hard because I keep wanting to put Envy guys in there.
Yeah, right.
I know that sounds dumb. I want to put him with Clayster, but I think that might be the problem right there. Is those two?
Why?
I don't know. To me, it seems like they don't like because Clayster's like one of those guys. He's kind of like an X where he wants to make the calls, right? And I think that could be the problem where you got Joey who's the captain, wants to lead the team. Nameless is kind of the same way, but he'll follow what those guys say. So maybe those two don't go well together.
You think Clay wants to make the calls?
We'll remember him on gaming.
Yeah, I remember him getting like super hype, and
but he would tell them what to do too.
Huh.
I think he's more like Neslo, though. I think he tells them what to do when, like Neslo, old school TK, only shout. He only called the shots in S&D, but in every other game type, he didn't call the shots. You know, that was like Sharp or Theory. But I think Clay's fine behind Merc. I think Merc and Nameless might not be on the same page with the way things should happen and the way the team should go and who they should pick up and stuff like that. And I think Cap is just that player, and people say I always hate on Cap, but I think Cap is that like silent, I'll do what you tell me turret, as people call it in this game. And, you know, he's like, stand still, shoot in every direction with my, you know, with my bow, but I don't know. I think my opinion, Clayster should. If I was going to build anybody, if I was going to build that team around anyone, I would probably build it around Clayster. But I wouldn't want to drop Merc. He'd almost have a perma spot like Nade Shot. So
When I kind of thought Nameless was the same way. I'd want to build around Nameless, and it seems like they've built around Merc and Nameless for a little while. But I just wonder why it's not working. That's my main thing is like what is it about that team that I think looks good on paper. What is it about that team that just doesn't work? And it's I can't put a finger on it, to be honestly. To be honest, not honestly. Gosh.
Sorry, my mic was muted. It's this game. Like they were good ending Ghost. You know, like they won 2 events. They won 2 lands. I mean, they got Gfinity 3, and then they got the season 3 title, and I mean they were a good team, and they were good online in Ghost in season 3. And so I think they were like the Optic Gaming of that season. And so this game made it to where they had to change roles, and teams that aren't adjusting to those roles or picking up players that can fill the necessary roles are struggling. And so I think Envy is one of those teams, but I don't know if Clayster, what would you say, Hitch? Like what would be your envious team if you had to put together a name?
I don't know. We talked about this earlier. I don't know who's going to be on the team if as of now, people are saying that Nameless and Clay are being dropped. What are you laughing at? Oh, and so then it's going to be Cap and Merc, which is two
That's like not the team I would stick together though. Honestly, I
Yeah,
don't
those
know.
are two
Would be
people. Those
two
are
players.
two weird players to build around. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You say
Yeah.
Rambo.
Let's give it to the pro. Give it to the pro. What does
All
he
right,
think?
Apathy.
All right, so I think that
I just about spit water everywhere.
Not the pro Xbox 360 sniper.
Not the montage maker.
All right, go ahead, Apathy. What are your thoughts on Envy? If they had to build around Merc, who would you see them picking up?
I don't know.
He knows. He
Oh,
knows.
Intel.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
It's just like I don't know, man. It's like I think the Envy squad, the reason they don't work too well is because I feel like they're all almost the same player. You know, they for the most part, Nameless, Merc, and Clayster like calling shots, and they all kind of have the same play style, and except for Merc. But I just feel like that's a reason why they're working out. But you know, like you said, individually they're all pretty skilled players. So it would probably have to be Merc. Uh, I would say Nameless, but I don't know. It's weird.
Could Parasite get on that team? Could he get back on Envy?
I was actually thinking about Parasite just because I feel like he's really good at this game, and this game fits more his playstyle. So,
Yeah, Parasite's
I,
great. AW.
yeah, so I would probably say like Merc, Parasite. I'm just gonna say Nameless and
Clayster.
no Clayster.
So basically, they just need to switch Parasite for JCap. And they have a
What about
do you think that would improve their team? Like, if they did do that?
I don't know. It's just it could just because you know JCap and Parasite are I would say two different players. You know they both play a little bit different, but at the same time, I would feel like they play kind of the same.
Yeah,
Like
Parasite's Search and Destroy is great.
yeah, I feel like
But he's
Formal
mistakes.
like and Ghost brought something different to the table, and then you have Clayster who's
Yeah.
kind of like that slow AR shot caller type of player, and then you have you know Formal who is that aggressive slaying, I'll slay everything in front of me, you know, just get a whole bunch of kills on that team. And I feel like that. I feel like that's kind of what they're missing because I feel like JCap doesn't do that often. I feel like Merc doesn't do that too often. The only one who slays a lot, maybe sometimes in Hill, is like Nameless. So they need an explosive like Slayer type of player to really make that team better.
So like a slasher? You think it like a player
Yeah.
like Slasher would be amazing
I
on
think
that
Envy
team?
would go after Slasher in a second for Cap.
Exactly.
I'm
Like
saying,
that. No, yeah, that would be a good like for example, a good trade. That would actually improve their team, I think.
He's probably already received those text messages. I mean, that's like Slasher proved that he is a great Slayer on this game and
Yeah.
that he belongs to be in the top in the conversation up there. And if he's frustrated because of aches at FaZe, you know, then he may take some great interest in some of those, you know, DMs and text messages he's getting about. I mean, in a team like Envy, FaZe is huge, biggest organization that we have, even bigger than Optic when it comes to like their YouTube presence. But man,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's hard. I mean, that's got to be hard for you guys because I'm sure the
Of
the
course.
ruffling of the feathers between Pat and Slasher is causing Slasher to think about going somewhere else. I mean, that's got to be rough for you and Censor to deal with. But
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that Envy team, you know, they have a lot of potential. Let me ask you this, Apathy: is Optic Gaming's success online and on LAN, finishing top 2 at the first 2 events, winning almost everything online, being that team that when you go up against, I mean, I don't know if you saw the 250 to 42. I think you were
I sure
playing at the
did.
time.
We were like in the lobby, but I tuned in a little bit.
It was funny because Parasite was literally laughing. I mean, and Nameless
Yeah.
was giggling too. Like they were getting beat. Nameless was like, "Dude, we have 19 points, guys." It was like
crazy.
it was like 170 or 190 to 19, and Nameless is like, "Come on, can we kill something?" Like it was bad. And Killa, I was really impressed by Killa. I'll say that much. Like Killa was like we got to use this to practice our setups. Who cares about connection? Who cares about because somebody started to ask who's host, is it Krim or Formal? Because both of them were just annihilating them, and I think Killer just kept saying, let's practice our setups. Let's practice our setups. Let's practice. We know we're not going to outslay these guys at this point. Like we lost.
Yeah, they lost.
But they and Parasite just started giggling towards the end. Like, is OG's success actually causing teams? Are we at the point where teams? I know it's only 2 games in. People are getting mad at me for even saying that they're anything like Complexity or EG. But their success online, and that's translated to LAN as well, except for getting beat by you guys at Columbus. Is it translating to teams actually trying to form teams to beat them? Or are teams not caring about OG and they're just trying to do what they can to mesh a good roster? Like,
I mean, I think it's the second one. I mean, you never want to form a team based off one team. You want to build a solid squad. For example, us, we don't think about that. We just think who would be our best fourth, our best option. For example, if we wanted to trade Eggs, we don't think about how can we form a squad to beat OG. Because especially in this game, I think there's a lot of talented teams other than Optic Gaming, and as long as you make a solid squad and you form a good squad, you have a chance. You want to be able to beat every team, not just them. So, even though they're doing really good right now, I think that's what every team's trying to do: just build the best team they can for champs. They're the team that they think will work, and that could beat almost any team.
So is Optic also not even in that? Because there was a time in Black Ops 2, and especially early in Ghost, where teams actually were like, okay, what are they doing? Like, what the heck is Complexity, EG? What are they doing? And do we have the type of roster that can go against that? Because they're doing something different than everybody else because they're winning so freaking much. Like, when you win that many events in a row, you got to start to ask the question, okay, are we just off? Because we're not bad. You guys are all good. And so maybe it'll take a couple more events if Optic wins like 2-3 more in a row for teams to be like, all right, what is going on here? Like,
well, I think you saw the same thing in Black Ops 2 when Farico was winning everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's really what Aches did was, look, we got to mix and match parts until we can beat these guys. And then when they picked up Clayster, that was like the right tool, the right. Basically, it was that anchor spot. I think we saw that anchor spot in Black Ops 2 was paramount. That with the roaming Slayer, we talked about it earlier, and I think sometimes you have to look at a team and say, why are they successful? But
Apathy put out a whole video with Akes's tweet that had the 15 rules or whatever from last year. And I was amazed at how consistent those rules crossed into this year. Like, that was shocking. I just think his brain, man, if he had the right like social skills, when it comes to gaming. I'm not clowning him or anything. I'm just saying, like, if he had the temperament to deal with the frustrations of gaming, when he started to be like the nice Aches, and when we got him on the show and stuff, and like it was almost like he was a different person. And he said, that his girlfriend encouraged him a lot and made him a happier person. But there was a point when you guys lost at Orlando, it was over. Like, Aches was done. Like, it was like he started tweeting, and then it was like, oh, he's back.
He's back. There's
welcome back, Aches. It's good to see you, Pat. It's like in Optic, like when Krim dropped his 50 bomb, and he was like, you couldn't do that against me, haha. And I was like, what? It's like, we're all paying attention to this crazy run of Optic. We're not even like focusing on that right now. And so I think it's and I think you guys knew it when the switch flipped, and it was like, oh, he's there's something changed, But I don't know how you guys deal with it. I honestly don't. You're one of those likable characters in the community, but I don't know how the dudes deal with it that get the hate and the flaming and the especially when Optic flames you and hates against you. You seem to just like put a smile on your face and focus on the positive, but I guess that's hard for Aches to do, So it's a risk, like you said. It's a risk that teams have to take, I guess. All right. Any more questions from Twitter before we end the show?
Let's see. Let me find one really quick.
I want to say one thing about complexity. In Black Ops 2, I remember because I played it, even though I quit like twice, but I remember they had they had two quick for about 2, 3 events, I think. I don't even remember some for
Mission, yeah.
champs, and I felt like what they did was basically they replaced I would say their weakest link, and on top of that, he wasn't a good anchor, and they saw a player who's definitely a way better an anchor and a better player, and then that's what made them, the top-notch solid squad. But I feel like in this game, in general, most players are good, and most of these teams are good, so it's not like the same thing as back in the day. It's more about just making sure you put in the right players and just practicing and learning more because Optic, they play a lot, they practice a lot, they learn a lot. A Scumpy plays probably like 15, 20, I don't want to say 20, but like 15 hours a day. Crimp definitely plays a lot. Formal plays a lot. Nashal plays a lot. So like they learn the game more than anyone. And Crim, likes to learn and break down the game, and he tells his team what to do. So that's a huge reason why they're succeeding right now. And for example, us as FaZe, we barely practiced, we barely scrimmed after Columbus. I mean, a reason was because of me going on vacation, but it just shows that the people who play the most, for example, Denial, Optic, these type of teams are always the ones on top just because they played a lot and they know more than other teams, and that's what's really helping them win more than anything.
That kind of brings up another thing. Why is like Enable and Mochilla are coming up in a lot of these talks? Do you think Justice is making changes?
Well, Snacks in the
yeah. Oh,
chat.
Snacks. What's going on, bro? One of the questions I have from Twitter though is from Equinox GB or COD's Matt.
Snacks, that's T1. Sorry.
What do you say?
Well, Proputine just got in here and he's like, "Don't end the show yet. I just got here," and he said, "Slow poke Putine."
Anyways, COD's Matt says, "What happens to Elevate and also Study?"
Well, I feel like Study's been a ghost recently. I don't think he played in the 5K or 2K.
Yeah, I don't know what's
he's a
going on.
ghoster?
Oh no, he just
says
being a
Study's a ghoster.
Oh.
Live on the STiKS.
Drama alert.
Drama alert nation. Now over 732 viewers.
But so I mean, just based on that, I feel like they're thinking about not playing with it from champs, and then obviously Spacely can't play with them from champs. So I definitely think they might pick up 2 players. I don't know whether it could be Parasite, Nameless, the old LV, or it could be Ricky, Parasites. Maybe somewhere along those lines, players they played with before and they're comfortable with.
Oh, big gulps, huh? Did he leave? I can't see every. He left. All right. Well, I think. Do you think Killa and Mercs or Miracles will ever split up?
What was that?
Your detriment. Do you think Killa or Apathy? Do you think Killa and Miracles will ever split up?
It's possible. Anything's possible, but I do feel like they're just they're like, I don't know, they're like the duo, I guess you can say. They've teamed for a long time. They're always together no matter what team they join. So the high possibility is no. They're just probably going to find 2 players, but maybe in the near future, Miracles maybe wants to join another team. He's tired of Killa, something like that, and then
it's like Apathy and Sensor. They're super friends.
Yeah.
Super friends? Super.
All right, so we're gonna end the show. I'll get this up tomorrow, guys that are watching, and then tonight I'll put up the scuff announcement for the rest, for those that didn't see the show today. I'm interested in seeing how this UMG semi-pro league goes. We're gonna start reporting on it next week. What?
I didn't notice Apathy right there until I was looking at other things and I just saw his face right in the camera.
But what is he doing? I'm seeing it on the screen.
It scared me for a second.
I seen those hairs.
Nose flare.
Nose flares, nose hairs.
Can you do one eyebrow app?
One eyebrow.
Yeah, like, put one eyebrow up.
The
Oh,
Rock.
I can't do that. Like,
I
well,
kind
gotta
of
have
get it. I don't know.
All
It's
right,
funny.
so I'm gonna give you guys a chance to say whatever you want to whoever you want, and however you want. Oh my gosh, now everybody's sticking their face in the camera, and I'm gonna go Fatty, App, Hitch, and then myself, and then we'll close out the show.
Well, my name's Smiting Fatty. I'm your short fat friend. I just want to give a shout out there to all the right-heighted toilets. You know, the ones that when you sit down on them, you just know you're at home. Just you guys are awesome because the ones that are too tall, you guys suck. The ones that are too short, you guys suck. Everybody knows what I'm saying. The right height toilets at home. There we go. Thank you.
Oh my
Right
god.
Man.
No,
Hey, at least I didn't
Thank
swear
you
this
there.
time. I didn't swear this
I'm
time.
putting that in there. That's too funny.
Oh man.
Go
Is it
ahead,
my
App.
turn?
Yeah.
My name is Brian Zhelyaskov,
What is that?
aka what? AKA Apathy. I'm a player for FaZe Clan. Now over 290,000. No, wait, that was the wrong number. Overall, thank you for having me on the show. Shout out to FaZe Clan. Shout out to Tether. Shout out to FaZe Clan. Shout out to Red Militia. Everybody. Thank you for all the supporters, the community. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys every day on my YouTube channel, on my stream. You guys are all the best. Much love, and I'm out.
All right, Hitch, you're up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and putting up with us. And thank you, Kingdom, for having me on. Big shout outs to Urinals for making the guy's life easier. Also, thank you guys for the support on Optic Intel lately. We're going to get the media stuff up and running soon as we get everything down pat. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
You guys have problems, you know that? All right. First shout out is to all the non-bearded warriors that are like me, not like everybody else that's on this stream, that have nice faces that your wives or your girlfriends like when it rubs up against their cheeks. These guys can't do that. Like, they don't even have that possibility. They're like, get that off me. Shout out
It's
to
all
Kingdom.
about red chins.
Shout out to Kingdom Wifey for making me not have to chase e-girls on Twitter or follow any of them at all, even though the Twitter keeps suggesting that I follow Kinsey, but I will not do it. And
What is happening?
lastly, shout out to Scuff Gaming for offering the STiKS a sponsorship. We will not let you down. We're going to continue to grow. We've got three new shows that are going to be added to our lineup by the end of this year: CSGO, Halo, and EU. Two of them will be starting actually pretty soon, within a couple of months. Thank you guys for buying shirts. Don't forget to buy your shirts. Use code KINGDOM, all caps, when you get your G Fuel. Not Fatty. I don't think Hitch has one anymore. Ha ha ha. Make sure to use code KINGDOM.
Fatty.
Not Apathy either. I'm sure he has a code, but I don't know what it is. Team Gamma, G Fuel, Drama, Non-Drama Alert Nation. We're signing off. We'll see you guys next.
That's a good one.
Peace.